I get a ton of questions on all my videos that have anything to do with Webtoons. I figured I'd just go through and try to answer as many of these questions as I could. May I ask how much Webtoons pays you? I already responded to this and I said, sorry, no, I'm contractually not supposed to share it publicly. And so that's just something to maybe we could just start by saying, publicly, you don't really talk about that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just kind of like this underlying rule of thumb when it comes to contracts and business and getting jobs with production companies and stuff. You don't really publicly share that stuff because everyone has a different rate, and that's just kind of the way it goes. It's a sliding scale. It's a huge sliding scale. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Webtoon seems like an all or nothing gig. Either you get featured and you get paid, or you don't get featured and don't get paid. If you don't get featured, are you able to go publish elsewhere? If you're not featured on Webtoons, the rights are completely yours. You can publish them wherever you want. It's only when you get featured and you sign those contracts do they start expecting things from you, because they're giving you money in trade for exclusive digital rights. And so, for instance, most people, when they get featured, they pull their comics off of their other websites. If you were to, say, sign a contract with Comixology, it's last my knowledge, it was like a 5-year contract for Comixology. That would kind of usually exclude you from being able to be featured on Webtoons, because Comixology would have the digital rights as well. And so Webtoons, to be featured, is really about the digital rights having exclusiveness. Here's one. I didn't learn anything on how to actually get featured in this video. So I'm just gonna do me and hope they notice eventually. Okay. Thank you. I've been trying to get in touch with featured artists so I can learn and become featured as well. Thank you so much. You're welcome, J. Odin. What size, height, and width do you use for your pages, and how many pages do you usually do? Are there pages in the first place? When I started with Webtoons, when I was featured, they kind of had like an 800 pixels wide. I think now some of them are 1,000 pixels wide. So the height is really kind of unlimited, but you have to break it up into chunks, and I think it's like 1,200 pixels tall or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. So I know I'm not answering your question. I suggest building it as pages and then making one really tall file, 800 to 1,000 pixels wide, and just kind of reconstructing your comic in that way. Question: do I need to be 18 plus to get featured on Webtoons? I have no idea, actually. Just so you guys, I get a lot of these questions like as if I know Webtoons' strategy, but I don't. Webtoons is really secretive with how they, what they're doing. And, you know, they'll answer questions and stuff, but it's really difficult to really understand what's going on behind the curtain there. So I don't know, but I'm sure they have stuff like this in their terms of service agreements. If you go to their competition right now, they're having a competition to see who would win $80,000 to be featured. If you read through those rules, it's very clear about this, and I'm pretty sure they answer this question there. How long does it take to get featured? That's completely unanswerable. I didn't even try to get featured, and they approached me. I didn't even know about Webtoons, and they approached me. And then it was like negotiating. It could be no time. They would sometimes approach people at conventions and ask them to submit new ideas for comics, and they'll be a featured artist immediately. I like to tell people, as long as you have something from start to finish that's done and complete, and Webtoons editors can see that you can complete a work of art and a story and tell a story and finish something, then that automatically makes you more eligible. Now, if you don't have anything finished before trying to approach Webtoons, they're going to consider that because they want to make sure you can deliver on time. Now, this isn't Webtoons talking. This is me talking about what I'm, I've been in the art industry long enough, and I've hired people in the past quite a bit, and a big factor is making sure someone can deliver. And so the best way you know that is by seeing that they've delivered other things, and you can see the track record, So that's kind of important. And then there's people that put stuff into Discover and they're there forever and they never get featured. Why do they not get featured? It's a big debatable question. A lot of it just has to do with what Webtoons wants right now. What are they looking for that they don't have too much of already on their platform, or does it fit into their audience? So those are things you really have to try to figure out when trying to get Webtoons' attention. Is your comic going to actually fit in with their website? A lot of the stuff that I'm producing, I don't feel like it fits in, and so I'm not even attempting to pitch it to Webtoons. How do I start a comic on Webtoons for people who don't have a single idea? Well, first you have to actually make something. The most I saw here is how Webtoons is basically a South Korean platform, now also working in the US, but maybe it was something I didn't understand. Well, they are for Americans only? If I'm from another country not in Asia or in the US, I wouldn't be able to publish my story, worse, get featured. Just a question because maybe I didn't get it correctly. So Webtoons started out in South Korea. They're still there. The English version is what we're talking about, the American English-speaking Webtoons portal, I guess you would call it. And they don't care, I don't believe, from what I understand, they don't care where you're from, as long as you're making an English comic, English language comic, you can put it onto Webtoons in the English portal of Webtoons. Does it make sense? I'm on the Android app. Where do I find featured? I keep looking, but I have not seen that word. I must be overlooking it. Everything you see on Webtoons is featured. Everything on the front page, everything. Monday, all the webcomics that they show daily are featured. You have to dig for the stuff in Discovery, like the stuff that other people submit and put on there for free. Everything, though, that is promoted is usually almost always featured, with the exception of sometimes they'll throw some other people a bone. My only question would be, after looking at the site, does your comic have to be full color? You definitely don't have to have it full color. Full color always just adds to the appeal and it gets more attention, but there's quite a few comics on there now that are black and white. Can you create a book in screen tones too? Yes. I mean, as long as your stuff is beautiful, as long as it looks good, you can do it, and you could become a featured artist with kind of any kind of style. I've seen a lot of different styles. The thing that you most need to do with Webtoons is have a quality and a style that's quick in order to hit those deadlines. Are there chance for Canadians to be featured? Yes, as long as it's English, the English language. I was watching your videos like for 3 hours and I didn't even realize you were the writer of Citra. Woohoo! Yes. How can you get monetized on Webtoons? I am new to this. If you're a featured artist, they pay you monthly, and you sign contracts. You have to deliver on time every month a certain way. You have to package it up a certain way and give it to them every week, and then you'll get paid monthly. If you're not a featured artist, you can put your stuff up on there, and you can link it to your Patreon page. I don't know if this still happens, but Webtoons was kind of partnered with Patreon in a way to where they would also contribute to your patronage somehow. Now, if you're featured, you don't have that patron link. I was featured for about 2.5 years with Citra, and I never was able to have a patron link to my Patreon account, which is sad, but I don't know. It's what Webtoons wanted to do, so I just rolled with it. How do you upload a Webtoon? Oh, this is getting really tiring seeing the same kind of comment. Let's just go into Webtoons, and we'll just see how difficult it is to find the place to upload. Okay, right here. Publish. Sign in to reach new readers around the globe. So you sign in, and then you can start uploading your comic, right? It's not hard, guys. It's all you got to do is go to the site, okay? That's how you upload. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean. Good question. Thank you. This is bad. Beep. Info. Sorry, kid-friendly version. Hi, does your name have to be your real name on Webtoon? No, nope. There's a lot of weird names on Webtoon, so you can be whatever you want to be called. My name I use is on the net is different from my real name. Now, why would you do that? I just want to know why. Because you're marketing yourself. I mean, your name is your brand. So I don't understand when people are trying to grow an audience on something and they're using an alias name, unless they have to, because if their family finds out they're making a webtoon, they'll kill them or something. I don't know. But I just say, I would suggest using your name. I mean, if you want to really get the word out of who you are as an author, artist, unless that fake name, that internet name, is going to be your name for the rest of your life online, and everyone's just going to know you as that, then that's fine too. Anyway, how do you enter the Webtoon challenge? Okay, let's do this again. Okay, I'm at Webtoons, right here. Webtoons contest. Contest. La 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 la. La 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 la. And then, down here, contest official rules. Frequently asked questions. Read the official rules, facts, tips, how to do it. Start uploading, submit now. It's really simple, guys. You just got to go to the website and look and read it, okay? I'm sorry, I'm being mean. I don't understand. I don't know what apps to use to draw myself a webtoon. Well, there's Clip Studio would be one. I would suggest Clip Studio. There's Photoshop. Costs a little bit more money. There's also free ones like Krita. You can try Krita, Krita, I think. Download that for free and you can start drawing right there. On the iPad, bought Webtoon, but can't turn the page. Webtoons is more like a scrolling feature where you scroll. I don't understand that question. Super informative. Tell that to the person who said there's no information here. Could you put subtitles, please? I'll let someone else do that. If you post 2-line webtoons, are you restricted from posting anywhere else? If you're a featured artist, you have restrictions. I want to use webtoons, but I heard that you lose your digital rights for your comic for 3 years. If you publish your comic on Webtoons and you're not getting paid because you're not a featured artist, does this rule still apply? No, the rule doesn't apply. You can put your comic anywhere you want. You have the rights to do whatever you want digitally with your comic. It's only when you sign the contracts to become a featured artist do you have this 3-year exclusive contract with Webtoons where they technically are licensing the digital rights exclusively worldwide. And then after that 3 years is up, you can start putting it different places again. But they will still have your content on their website. So I don't think you're going to be able to ever pull your content off of their website if you want to pull it down off the internet completely somehow. So that's just one thing to think about. It's not like your own website where you can upload it and then pull it down when you want to say goodbye to it. Finally, a featured artist who can give good advice. I posted my Fair Princess of Demons in the challenge link, and my art style looks a bit professional, but it's great to know not to give up on life. Thank you so much. Yes, don't give up on life. If you are a featured artist online Webtoons, are you still allowed to post your comic elsewhere? I don't think so, unless you have some really special contract with them. I mean, you can negotiate stuff, but most likely they're not going to want to feature you because they really want to control and own that content to keep people on Webtoons. What if it is a different format than posted elsewhere? If it's digital, you are probably not going to be able to post it elsewhere. I think the only exception I had was on Patreon because it was something that I was making money from in addition to Webtoons. And so they let me keep posting kind of work in progress stuff to my patrons. But it was a different format than Webtoons, and it wasn't public. Like Webtoon version on Webtoon and manga version on another site, I know. If your story's, even if it's a different version, if your story is readable and it's public, Webtoons is going to want to control it if they are paying you, right? What if had a different name? Well, you're really like pushing it. Like, I mean, you really think they're going to see this exact same webcomic somewhere else and still want to pay you? I mean, if you're going to manipulate the contract to get money from them, you're not going to have a really good relationship with them. So I wouldn't even try doing that. Called on thing as Webtoon and called something else as manga. And the manga has the story. Dude, what? I'm not even going to keep answering those questions. Can you have a Patreon when you're featured on Webtoons? You can have a patron when featured on Webtoons, but they don't advertise your patron. They don't put the little patron link at the bottom for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's just because they want it to probably appear like all the featured artists have it made and they're just raking in the money and they don't need Patreon. I don't know. That's my guess. Don't go full digital. Well, I'm think I'm going to do that on my next one. Does Webtoon allow publishing, posting of comics with mature stuff like nudity, sexual content, and very, very sexy stuff? Situation or something like those in the mangas. South Korea, apparently, in talking to my editor when I first signed on, they said South Korea, don't get mad at me if I'm wrong with this, but apparently South Korea doesn't allow porn. And so they already have restrictions with their content that they can do. And so they're definitely not going to allow that through their site because it's against the law in South Korea, from what I understand. So with that said, there's always going to be kind of risky stuff. There's a lot of romance stuff on there. There's a lot of sexy kind of stuff on there. I don't know what the limit is. I don't know where the lines are drawn. But I know they do allow mature content. And do they also allow black and white, non-color? Yes, they do. And there's featured artists that are black and white. Finally, I've been trying to look for featured artists on Webtoons to share some advice on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm working on my comic now. All right. So I need to give some people different voices. Ella says, "Hello, I have a question. How will they contact you if you are chosen to be a featured artist?" I was contacted by my form on my website, and then it sent me an email. I think they would just send you an email if you have it publicly available. As long as you have your information out there, they'll be able to contact you. Is it true that if you are chosen to be a featured artist from Discovery, you need to delete your comics and upload them again? Usually, yes, if you become a featured, I've seen people's comics that are on Discovery get taken down so that they can re-release them fully in the featured section. I don't know exactly how that works, but that's the pattern I've seen. How do you become a featured artist? Well, you just have to impress them. You have to do something that Webtoons feels like is going to make an impact on their audience and that their audience is going to like. For them, it's a big gamble. They're throwing money at people trying to get content on there that is going to get more people on the platform. More artists and more readers. You have to look at what Webtoons is producing and you have to think, would my stuff fit in here? Would it fit with this audience? Would this audience love my stuff or not? I signed up to publish my comics, but I'm not sure if it's the same. Yeah, so you're in the Discovery. If you start getting a following and Webtoons sees it and likes it, and they look at every comic that goes through their platform. That's what they've told me anyway. You will be discovered if it's something that they want, It's really about what they want, there are people making decisions behind the curtain like this would fill a need within Webtoons. So I don't know what those needs are, but you can kind of see what kind of content they like based on what kind of the content gets put into featured. Adrian says, "I want a video of how to post on Webtoons and there's suppliers to do so." Again, you go to the website and you push the button that says submit your comic or upload or whatever it says. And there's plenty of directions there to tell you how to do it. Froggy Chan says, "Is it okay to make a fan fiction sort of comics on Webtoon?" I don't know. I think so, as long as you're not violating any copyrights. How long did it take you to get featured? I didn't try. They just approached me. Stephen McCraney entered the contest and he won first place, and so he got featured. Michael Regina put his comic, Adamsville, in the Discovery, and then they picked him out to be a featured artist after so long. I don't know how long it took him, but so it's a variety of answers. It's all across the board. Sella Phil says, "What's the minimum? I want to publish and I want all of you to read it. My biggest inspirations is from the comic Spaceboy. I wish mine can surpass expectations of you all. Look at my name. It will be soon. I've been pushing it off, but more I wait, the more I won't be able to at all." Excellent. Comixology, I didn't see that many indie comics. What is the process like to get into Comixology? Comixology has, when I started with them, it was an invitation only, and they actually invited me to publish my comic on there. Now they have a Comixology submit section. So go to Comixology.com. Actually, we could just go there real quick, just like we have been doing. So here's Comixology. Let's see if we can find submit. It's probably at the bottom on this one. Here we go. Down at the very bottom, submit. The easiest way to self-publish comics and graphic novels. Log in, submit, sell. So there you go. It's pretty simple now with Comixology. They do all the work translating it from your pages to the Comixology format. I don't know if things get turned down or not, but I think they're trying to make it pretty easy for everyone to use Comixology now. So all you are saying is be persistent and keep putting out good series, and then Webtoons will pay you when you get enough views. Absolutely not. That's not at all what I'm saying. It's all about what Webtoons wants. They are a publisher. You have to have content that they want to publish and they want to pay for that will benefit them. So if your comic is completely outside of their interests, even if you have a lot of people who follow your stuff, they're just not going to be interested in it. They really are pushing towards content that is made specifically for Webtoons now. When I started, they were into converting other materials to Webtoons, but now they're pushing even harder to have artists create content specifically for Webtoons that wasn't created in any other form before that. So they're looking for people who can finish something, deliver on time, who also has a following, who also has the kind of content that they are looking for. So scour Webtoons and see the kind of popular stuff on there, and really think about it. Like you can really tell what kind of stuff Webtoons is pushing. And again, I will say this. The next thing I'm going to do is this comic called Phobos. I don't think it would work on Webtoons very well. And so I'm not even going to put it into Webtoons Discovery because, first of all, I don't want to be featured with that specific comic because I don't want the kind of pressure of the weekly schedule. I would rather make my own schedule and get paid through Patreon and Kickstarter and book sales and all the other avenues of getting paid. Comixology, all that stuff. I don't want a big company having given me a contract that tells me exactly how I need to put something out and that it's not hitting their numbers that their audience wants and deciding if they want to promote it or not, like promoting it by putting it on the homepage or not. I want to have more control over it than that. Webtoons is a great site and a great company and great people work there, but remember, it's a specific thing they are selling, and so they will tell you they want every kind of comic, but they're very careful with who they pull in and who they feature. It's not just about you getting a bunch of views. If you get a bunch of views and they have something on Webtoons that's exactly like yours, that will be a roadblock for you. So I've pitched ideas to them and they say, well, we have something that's kind of like that already. And I pitch another thing. Yeah, we have something that's kind of like that too. And I'm like, really? Are you serious? And they're like, yeah. So it is a factor. Webtoons has really changed the way that new comic artists are being found. So I would really recommend posting stuff on Webtoons. If you're new to making comics, test your market, test your audience, see if people actually resonate with your stuff. It's a great platform, a really slick user experience, and millions of people are there reading comics every day, and so you might as well try it if you're trying to find an audience. So I will put out another video answering questions on my other video that is also about Webtoons, more about converting your comic to the Webtoons format. I will do that some other time though, because this is already long enough. Thanks for all the comments. I really appreciate you guys watching and sharing my videos, and I will make more videos as I go. All right, peace out.